Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to go through controls and show you how you can control the movement of your player using keyboard. So for that, I'm going to just go with like some simple objects. I'm going to add a plane and I'm going to also add a sphere to my game, bring it up the surface, and simply imagine the surface. A sphere is my player, and I plan to control it. So to do that, I'm going to write a script and attach that script to this sphere. And through that script, I'm going to do stuff that controls the movement of the sphere using keyboard. So to write that script, the first thing that I'm going to do, since this is like a empty project, I'm going to basically create a folder for all of my scripts that I'm going to write through this project. I'm going to store them all in that folder to make sure everything is organized. So I'm going to go inside and create a C# program, and I'm going to call it movement. All right, because I'm picking like a general name because I might need to attach it to several objects, okay, depending on what they need to do. So if you just simply select this one, you will see what is inside that C sharp, and all of the C sharp default programs that you create will have two functions in them. They have a start and update. If you double click on it, it will open it in Microsoft Visual Studio. Okay, so again, with any default program, you're going to get two functions. You get start, which is called before the first frame update, and then you will get update function, which is update is called once per frame. All right. So if you want to like do some initialization stuff, that should go inside your start, and then after that, all of those values could be updated inside your update function. So for now, to just make sure everything works, I'm going to put a print function and check my Unity project. So I'm going to just say, all right, just print hello, right? And then don't forget the semicolon. I am going to save this program and go back to Unity. When you go there, you will see it is updating. And as soon as the update is complete, you will see the changes that you made in your code in the inspector. So the next thing that we want to do is to make sure this script is attached to an object. Otherwise, if I run it, nothing is going to happen. So to do that, I'm going to simply drag and drop it over my sphere, which later is going to be my player that I'm going to control its movement. So you attach it to that one. So either you can drag and drop it or use add component to do that. So as you see, this script is now attached to that object. All right, now let's see what happens if I run my code when you have print hello just in the start, okay? As I said, this is going to be called before the first frame update, and it's going to be called only once, okay? So let's go back here and run our Unity code, and you will see this hello that is printed only once. Okay, so I'm going to stop this and I'm going to go back to my code. I'm going to take this line and put it inside update. So for update, you are going to see this function to be called per frame. All right, so let's save it and go back to our code. After it is updated, I'm going to run it, and you will see that we get hello many times because it is called every frame. Now if you want to move the cube, we can play with all of the stuff that we have in inspector. For instance, transform, which takes care of moving the object or changing its position and things like that. So you can like play with that and decide where you want to move your object. So if you want, like you see, if you change the X value or Y value or Z value, something happens to your sphere and moves in that environment. You can also do that using your code. Okay, so I'm going to take out this print function and replace it with transform. So if you want to move that sphere, you can say transform dot translate. So you want to move it, so you use the keyword translate to do that. All right, and then inside the parentheses you need to say the X, Y, and Z value. So again, since translate is vector 3, type vector 3, we need to have three different values. So if you want to like only move it in the X direction, I can say 1F, and let's not move it in either Y or Z direction. So you can put 1F for X direction, no movement in Y direction, no movement in Z direction. So if I do this, it just takes the sphere and place it in 1. Okay, so it just moves it there. If you want to see a continuous movement, then you can say simply, okay, time dot delta time, and then basically what it does at delta time is it looks at your machine. If it's really fast, it knows that if it's really slow, it basically calculates the difference and moves your sphere in the same with the same speed. Okay. I think I forgot to put the hold on a second, or I think it's good. So let's save it and go back to Unity, see what happens. So now if I play this, expect my sphere to start moving. Hold on a second. Oh, didn't I save it? I think I saved it because it was doing the old thing. So probably I didn't save it properly. So now I have the transfer, translate, and then I have the movement. So let's come back here. Okay, now it's updating in Unity. All right, so let me change my camera position so we can see it. So let me go to the scene and then camera, let's put it somewhere else. Oh, it's like looking in the wrong direction. So I want to, let me change its rotation so it faces the sphere, and then I come back. All right, so I set my camera in a way that we can see it's moving, and I can put the game view and the scene view side by side so we can see the movement. So now if I play it, I expect my sphere to start moving in the X direction. Okay, and that is because I have that transform and I'm setting it to move in the positive direction using the delta time. And you can do a similar thing for either direction. So I can replace this one with 0f, or if you want to go in a negative direction, you can do that, and then maybe you want to move it in the y direction. So if you want to do it, you just go here, make the changes, put that delta time in the y for the y axis, and go back to your code and just simply wait for it to get updated, and then if you run it, it should move up. Okay, so here we go. And then same thing for z direction if you want to. So if you want to basically control the movement of the sphere, you can go to edit, project setting, and if you go to input manager, and you have all of these controls. Okay, so move it horizontal or vertical, and everything that you are looking for. So if you want, you can always get the information regarding all of these axes. So let's try that. Let's say I want to get information for horizontal. I can do that. So let's go to my script, and I'm going to for now comment this line, and I want to print, and I want to print input dot get axis, and then I want to get horizontal. Okay, and I'm going to add my semicolon. I'm saving this program and then coming back here. All right. So let me close this one so it's not over the over my screen. So if I run it now, it's going to give me the location for that sphere. Okay, let me actually put this back, and if I do that, and let's put this in both of these, and let me save it, come back to Unity, wait for it to get updated, and I'm going to run it. So I should get different values now, or maybe not. Okay, hold on a second. That was not the horizontal section of it. Oh, my bad. It wasn't the location of the sphere, but that was the input. Okay, so it doesn't matter how the sphere is moving. We wanted to get the read something from keyword. Okay, so let's save it and go back to the project. So here I'm going to try to run it one more time, and if I run it, I should get the zeros, and now I can use the arrows in my keyboard to get a different value. If I hit the right arrow, I get positive value. If I go negative, I get negative value. Okay, so you're reading information from the keyword. All right, and it's going to be very similar for the vertical one. So you can put that and see what you get here, and you will use different keys to change the values. All right, so now if it runs, if I press up arrow, I get positive value, down arrow, I get negative values. So now let's combine the two things that we learned today, okay? The translate thing and getting input from keyboard, okay? So I'm going to comment this line, uncomment the next line, and use this value for my 1F, okay? And then since it is X, I'm going to go with horizontal. So make sure that the Y is 0, and only we are moving for this, we are moving it only in the X direction. So I'm replacing 1F, which says to go in a like a same amount. I'm saying look at the keyword, press and then move based on that. So this is saved. I'm going to come back to my project and I'm going to run it. So now I can use the arrow keys to move my sphere around. Okay, so if I press the right arrow key, I move to right. If I if I press the left arrow key, I move to left. Okay. So if I want to now move in a Y direction as well, I can use the vertical one and replace it with this 0 key. So I'm going to copy this whole thing and replace this one and then change vertical, horizontal to vertical. I'm going to save it and then come back to my project. And now if I run it, I should be able to move in all directions. Okay, so I'm moving it in X and Y, but if I want to move it on the plane, I should go with X and Z. Okay, so I'm going to take this one out and keep Y 0 and add it to my Z. Okay, so now if I save it, come back to my project, it should now move on the surface of the plane. Okay, so here you go. Okay, so you can simply move your object in a direction that you want to. You can also change the movement speed if you want to. Okay, so I can set a value here, speed, and I'm going to set it to, let's say, 2 for now. And then instead of like just saying move based on the keyword, I'm saying also take the speed when you're moving. Okay, so I'm going to have that for my vertical movement as well. So let me see, there's something not right here. I'm going to fix it. Let's try it. I forgot to set it as a public variable, so I'm going to do that in here. So speed is going to be a public variable, public, um, and I'm going to like just set a float value for it, and I'm going to just say, okay, speed is a public variable, and then I give its initial value in the start because I just want to assign it once, and then I'm going to use that value in update to set the speed. Okay, so I'm going to save it, go back to my Unity project, and now if I run it, it should move faster. And you can see, if I go to sphere, you will see the speed here, and you can change it manually if you want to. So okay, so oh, wrong. Okay, I said something incorrectly, just give me a second. All right, here we go. If I run it, now I will see the value 2 for my speed, and I can move my sphere in the on the sphere that on the plane that I have. If you want, you can change the speed, make it faster, and now if I move it, it moves really fast. Okay. So you can either change that value in your code now, or since it's a public variable, you can also change it in the inspector. And you can use other like keyboard keys if you want to control your player's movement. It's up to you what you want to do. In this video, I show you how to do it with the arrow keys, but if you go to like edit and project setting, you will see that you have access to many inputs. Okay.